You're watching Tag TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 8th of March. On International Women's Day, Indian Prime Minister expands the SaveEducated Girl Child program. Baloch activists to launch campaign in Geneva to highlight human rights violations by Pakistan. And Afghan President Ghani calls on Taliban to consider peace talk offer. And now for all the details. On the occasion of International Women's Day, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday inaugurated the pan-India expansion of his government's flagship Save and Educate the Girl Child program in northwestern Rajasthan province. He called for equality between men and women for the society to move forward and prosper.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday inaugurated the pan-India expansion of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao or Save and Educate the Girl Child program in Junjunu district of northwestern Rajasthan province. His visit to Rajasthan's Junjunu came on March 8th, the International Women's Day. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Modi urged people to change their mindset towards the girl child. He called for equality between men and women for the society to move forward and prosper. He said, "We will have to bring in a social revolution."
अब तो हम तय करें कि जितने बेटे पैदा होंगे उतनी ही बेटियां भी पैदा होगी। जितने बेटा पलेंगे उतनी ही बेटियां पलेगी।
Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister also interacted with beneficiary mothers and girl children of the program. The government's flagship campaign aims to improve India's child sex ratio, the number of girls born for every 1,000 boys, and gender equality through access to education.
In news from Pakistan, the Accountability Court hearing the Avonfield Properties reference against Pakistan's former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his family on Thursday rejected a request to make the Panama Papers Joint Investigation Team or JIT report part of the case record. The request was made by Federal Investigation Agency Additional Director Wajid Zia, who headed the JIT after he appeared in court to record his statement. Zia narrated the work of the GIT, which had recorded the statements of the Sharif family and several other persons associated with the Panama Papers case. The court contended that the GIT's report cannot be made part of the case, arguing that it cannot be held as evidence. The hearing was then adjourned until March 15th. The Accountability Court has been hearing a total of 3 corruption references against Sharif for owning assets beyond known sources of income. Moving on, an anti-Pakistan protest was held in Geneva on Wednesday by Baloch activists to highlight the gross human rights violations in Balochistan by Pakistani authorities. A campaign has also been launched to raise awareness about the situation during the ongoing session of United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva.
The Baloch Republican Party or BRP carried out a protest rally against state-sponsored atrocities in Balochistan during an ongoing 37th session of United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. The protesters carried out a march from Rive to the United Nations office and shouted pro-freedom slogans while demanding Pakistan to stop abducting innocent civilians from Balochistan. An awareness campaign has been launched by BRP in Geneva to make the people aware of growing human rights violations in Balochistan. The activists are calling on the international community to take immediate and effective measures to stop the ongoing atrocities meted on their people by Pakistan. Baloch activists have long accused Pakistani forces of enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, and targeted killings of innocent Baloch people. They claim attempts to highlight the situation in Balochistan have long been repressed, and such campaigns can be very effective in raising awareness.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani opened Parliament's 8th working year after a 45-day recess. The session was attended by both lawmakers and high-ranking government officials. In his address, President Ghani again called on the Taliban for peace talks.
Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani on Wednesday officially opened Parliament's 8th working year after a 45-day winter recess. The opening ceremony was attended by high-ranking officials, ministers and lawmakers, among others. The President said if the judiciary's decisions are fair, social conflicts will disappear and judiciary organizations will gain social trust through their fair reforms. He also called on Taliban for peace talks and social reforms in Afghanistan.
د قوانینو له تصویب رانیولې د سولې تر پروسې پورې د اجتماعي ژوند په مختلفو ساحو کې به موجود پرمختګونه نه لرل.
Earlier this month, Ghani had offered recognition of Taliban insurgents as a legitimate political group as part of a proposed political process. If accepted, it could lead to talks ending more than 16 years of war.
More on news from Afghanistan. A senior religious official and his bodyguard were killed on Wednesday after a suicide bomber approached them and detonated his explosives in eastern Afghanistan on Wednesday. No militant group has claimed a responsibility for the attack so far.
A suicide bomber killed a senior religious official and his bodyguard and wounded at least 11 people in Jalalabad city of Afghanistan's eastern Nangarhar province on Wednesday. The suicide bomber approached Abdul Zahir Haqqani, Nangarhar provincial director of religious affairs and the Hajj pilgrimage, and detonated his explosive vest, the provincial governor's spokesman said. The injured were immediately rushed to the hospital.
بالای رئیس حج اوقاف ولایت ننگرهار شده که خود رئیس مرگاه یک محافظ شهید شده. فعلا تعداد 9 نفر از مردم اهالی و غیر نظامی در شفاخانه زخمیشان رسیده.
There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. Nangarhar, on the border with Pakistan, is a volatile province which has become one of the main bases for Islamic State militants who fight both the government and the Taliban.
On the occasion of International Women's Day, Indian Railways handed over the charge of a railway station to an all-women's team in India's central Maharashtra province on Thursday. The station has become the third in the country to be managed solely by women staff.
On the occasion of International Women's Day, Ajni railway station in India's central Maharashtra province became the third all-women station in the country. Ajni, a satellite station of Nagpur, falls under the Nagpur division of Central Railways of India. The station has a total of 22 female workers. The move is a part of the women empowerment drive undertaken by Ministry of Railways with an aim to provide equal footing in service to women employees.
अभी इंडिपेंडेंटली सब लेडीज एक साथ करेंगे तो वो खुशी से ज़्यादा खुशी से करेंगे और जो भी रहेगा वो पूरी जिम्मेदारी हमारी रहेगी तो उससे हम लोग अपने आप को सम्मानित महसूस कर रहे हैं.
Over 26 trains pass through the station, which is centrally located, and it receives a footfall of nearly 6,000 passengers every day. Matunga station in India's financial capital Mumbai was the country's first to hire an all-women staff in 2017. The station, with a staff of 41 women, entered the Limca Book of Records in January.
A fashion show in India's western Thane city saw acid attack survivors take the stage amid a cheering audience of fashion lovers and rights activists. The show aimed to redefine the notion of beauty while calling attention to the menace of such attacks.
A fashion show held in India's western Thane city saw participation of acid attack survivors. Each survivor, who had been a victim of an acid attack, was dressed in colourful Indian and Western attire at the fashion show organised to mark International Women's Day. The survivors turned models walked the ramp with courage and self-confidence as people lauded their confidence.
हमें अपने अधिकार के लिए लड़ना, खाना, सब कुछ हमें अपने अधिकार के लिए खुद करना होगा. जब एक आदमी भी कर सकता है तो एक औरत क्यों नहीं कर सकती है। तो हमें अपने अधिकारों के लिए खुद खड़े होना है। और वुमेन्स को मुझे तो रिस्पेक्ट नहीं चाहिए, मुझे इक्वालिटी चाहिए, क्योंकि हम सिर्फ लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं इक्वालिटी के लिए। लोग क्योंकि ये भूल रहे हैं, इक्वालिटी होगी तो कहीं ना कहीं क्राइम भी बंद होगा।
Globally, as many as 1,500 acid attacks are recorded every year. The show aimed at encouraging self-confidence amongst the survivors and gave a message to put a stop on such crimes.
A UK-based Sikh group has undertaken the initiative to clean the gold plating of Golden Temple Shrine in India's northern Amritsar city, which has been affected by pollution and weather. Volunteers claim no chemical is being used in the cleaning exercise.
A group of 50 volunteers of a UK-based Sikh group have undertaken the initiative to clean the gold plating of the Golden Temple affected by pollution and weather in India's northern Amritsar city. First, the dust settled on the embossed gold plating of the Golden Temple is cleansed by the volunteers of Guru Nanak Nishkam Sevak Jatha. They later apply Rita or soap nut to scrub away any stains and restore the sheen of the holiest Sikh shrine. Volunteers claim no chemical is used in cleaning the temple.
We are cleaning the gold with the Rita, which is soap stuff, and what that is we use. We don't use any chemical. It's been done that way, and we have been doing this for some time, and this is what we do.
The cleaning of the Golden Temple is an annual exercise conducted by the group which lasts 10 days. The group also volunteers at Anandpur Sahib, another Sikh temple in Punjab province, before reaching the Golden Temple.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. On International Women's Day, Indian Prime Minister expands the Save Educate Girl Child program. Baloch activists to launch campaign in Geneva to highlight human rights violations by Pakistan. And Afghan President Ghani calls on Taliban to consider peace talk offer. Now our viewers can watch the show on SaveEducated.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
You're watching TAG TV.